Bing, bang, finger guns. Pew, pew. What's up, fuckers? Happy Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday. Is it Tuesday when you watch this? It never is. That's my bad, dude. Don't yell at me, all right? It is hot out, man. I like the heat and the beautiful weather as much as anybody else, but I do run hot. My body's warm all the fucking time. I sleep hot. I sleep with a fan on year round, and I'm just always hot. So this weather in particular just isn't super enjoyable for me. I'm just hot, and I sweat. I wear a lot of black because I will sweat through my shirts like a motherfucker. So, yeah, really good day today. I actually slept last night. I did wake up once. Look at this. I have like 3 of these packets in here. Why is there so many? I did wake up one time throughout the night, but that wasn't the end of the world. But yeah, actually slept really good. Felt really good all day. See, there's like 2 more in there. I don't know if you can see it. Why is there so many in here? That's weird. Slept great. Woke up feeling great. Had a really great day at work, minus the heat, and my truck was not ACing the way that I would have loved for it to AC. So that's unfortunate. But what are you going to do? Today we're going to hit legs. Jazzed about that. I need a good leg day, and I feel great. So I'm hoping that today is a killer day. Yeah, we can talk a little bit about, or we should talk a little bit about building a program. Maybe. I feel like some people get overwhelmed with like the access to information that's out there, and like what should they do, what should they not do. I also feel like some of that is like influencer fault because people are just getting so ridiculous and I guess you could say quote unquote creative with their types of lifts and things like that, and people just like don't know what to do. The benefit to that is there's a lot of information out there. So if you do have a little bit of knowledge on the gym and like lifts and things like that, you should be able to piece together like a lifting program relatively easy. And there's apps and stuff like that that'll build it for you. You can also pay people to do it. I'm not one of them. Please don't ever ask. But I will give you like my insight on what I think you should be doing. Maybe this is for the beginner category and maybe not for someone that's like more advanced or like well off and has been in the gym for quite some time and has like a good understanding. So if you've ever heard me talk about the gym and listen to me while I work out, a lot of it is like, I think I'm going to do this next, or maybe I'll do one more set, or, whatever. And I say that a lot, and here's why. Because I've lifted for so many years. I have a really good understanding of my body and what my body responds to really well. And when I'm doing a certain movement, traditionally or usually those movements have activated that muscle group very well for me, and I feel it in comparison to other lifts in that like category. So they just have worked out really well for me over the years, and they feel really great. Now you can plateau. So if you do the same thing over and over and over again, your body's going to adjust to it, and it's going to know like, hey, on Monday, Sean starts with bench press and he warms up this way and he does this weight, this weight, this weight, and he hits these like this many reps with this many sets, and then you start to plateau. So it's good to switch your workouts up. Now that could be done in a couple different ways. It could be by switching the order in which you work out in. I know we talked about compound lift versus isolation lift. So if you just traditionally start with compound and you've been doing bench press, we'll just use that for an example for 6 or 7 weeks in a row. When you start to feel like you're plateauing, maybe start with like 1 or 2 isolation lifts and do that for like 5 to 7 weeks, and then switch back to like your compound lift. So that's a good way to switch it up, and or like the weight that you're doing or the sets that you're doing or the reps that you're doing is also a good way to switch it up. So if you usually go in there and then you lift really heavy and you do like 2 heavy sets and you do 1 light set, just do a bunch of like light sets and do really good form and do really good time under tension, and don't hit that like heavy weight cap, and switch that up and do that for a couple weeks. So it doesn't always have to be necessarily switching the types of lifts you're doing. It's how you're doing those lifts. So number of sets, number of reps, type of weight, and like so on and so forth. The intensity should always be up no matter what you're doing. Like, so that doesn't need to be adjusted at all, but you don't always have to switch up your lifts. So we'll do a leg day like plan for beginners, for example, just because I'm doing legs today. Um, yeah, here's my like precursor note in the beginning. If you're a gym rat or you're someone that lifts a lot and you don't do leg days, fucking figure it out. You need to be doing legs. Legs are the most important. Everybody wants to do the glamour muscles, the show me muscles. They want the big chest and the big triceps. And I was that way, but I was that way when I was in fucking high school and maybe in my early 20s. And it didn't last very long. You can't skip legs, man. If you're a dedicated gym person and you're lifting all the time and you're in the gym 4 to 6 days a week and you don't hit legs one time and you never do, get fucked. Switch your shit up. I don't care if you're sore or that you're hurt. People don't do, and that's always their excuse. Oh, I fucking pulled something or I got a bad knee. You don't have to squat all the time. You can do other stuff that's isolated. We just talked about isolation lifts the other day. It doesn't always have to be stuff that's like hard on your body or like your back hurts or whatever. You're just not doing legs because legs fucking suck. Everybody knows legs fucking suck. And the leg day sore is the worst type of fucking sore ever. And it's never the next day. It's always day 2. So you hit legs on Monday. By Wednesday, you are going to feel it. It's going to be hard to sit down and take a shit. It's going to be hard to get in and out of your car. That's why people don't do legs, because it's fucking hard and they're not glamour muscles. My thought process was when I was young was if I skip one chest day and I don't hit chest or I don't hit arms, they're never going to grow and they're not going to pump up like I like them and I'm not going to look good in the t-shirt, blah, blah, blah. Fucking suck it up. Hit your fucking legs. Get over it. Stop being a pussy, all right? Hit fucking legs. It's important. I don't know the specifics of it, so I won't try to like quote too much of it, but I saw a video with an ER doctor and that was his thing. He said, don't skip leg day. And this was literally a video that he made. He says a lot of people come in with injuries or issues, especially when they're older, and it's not related to back. It's related to legs because it's their foundation. And they had a hard time carrying the weight around because their legs were weak and things started to fail. Their feet were failing. It was hard for them to get around and move. Their mobility went down. Their stability went down because they didn't do anything leg related. So please don't skip legs. I love leg day. It's hard. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not the most fun I've ever had, but it's a necessity. So it's part of your routine, just like cardio is. Even though I don't do as much cardio as I should. But it's part of the process. So please do legs. So thirsty. So we'll walk through what I think like a beginner leg day should look. My splits are push, pull, legs. And you can do that in any order you want, but then just like rinse and repeat. So if you do push on Monday, pull on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday, and then rinse and repeat, push, pull, legs. I've talked about my splits before, so I won't dive into it in this one, but my leg day today, and what I recommend for new beginners is to learn how to squat properly first. Squat is the best exercise you could do. If I could only ever do one movement, it would be squat because it engages so many different muscle groups. It's literally the best exercise that you can do. So understand squat and maybe watch some videos on good form. I think I've talked about it once or twice, and maybe I'll do in this video if I hit the squat rack today, I'll do a little more in-depth understanding of like form and like proper form, but everyone's a little bit different, and I'll try to like address that as we're walking through it. But learn how to squat and squat properly before you start doing heavy weight. If you don't feel comfortable with your form yet, look online. There's videos everywhere. It'll teach you to squat properly, and you can adjust the forms a little bit. It doesn't have to be super exactly the way that they say it, especially with like feet placement and like how you have your feet, if they're closer together, if they're shoulder width apart, if your toes are facing forward or if they're facing out. So you can adjust it a little bit as far as like what your mobility is like and where your hips sit, and especially when you squat ass to grass. But so until you have your form lined up, I would stay away from going heavier and just practice on your form. But I would really recommend starting with squat. I really like the 3, 4, maybe 5 set range, especially in the beginning to really fatigue it. I like to build up in my weight. So I start with some lower weight and then I start to get pretty progressively heavy. And then I like to do at least one more set at the end, sometimes 2, especially on my compound lifts. And I dial the weight back and I just kind of really burn out So I build it up. I guess you could call it like a pyramid set where I build it up and then I bring it back down. And I really only ever do that on my compound lifts, so my squats, my benches, things like that nature. But I would recommend starting off with 3 to 4 sets. Slowly build up your weight. Like I said, don't go super heavy unless you're comfortable with your form, because you need to lock in your form first, because that's a movement that you can get hurt in. And same thing with deadlift, but that's a move that you can get hurt in. So just be smart about it before you start getting wild with your weight. So I recommend starting with squat. And then I do hamstrings and quads together. You can decide to split those up if you want. So on one of your leg days, it can be a quad focus, and then on the opposing leg day, it can be a hamstring focus. I like to do all of it at once. So traditionally, I'll start with my squat, and then I'll usually transition into a quad movement. It is an isolated movement, so I will do a leg extension. I'd recommend doing 2 to 4 sets in that range, and then always keep your intensity up, and this intensity across the board on everything you do, making sure you're practicing good form and time under tension. But probably the 8 to 12 rep range on all of that. Those last couple sets or last couple reps should be hard to do, and you should be struggling once you hit that like 10, 11, 12 rep. So 2 to 4 sets with that. And then I usually go into a calf raise on like my third one, just to kind of give some of my legs a little bit of a break in between. So I'll do a calf raise. I really like seated calf raises. And I talked about this before, but the science is out there that to optimize growth in your calves, it's from the neutral position down, and then when you lift back up, you reset at the neutral position. You don't go all the way up. I don't think I can ever get on board with that. My calves are all right. Maybe I'll try it today, but the science is out there that says from the neutral position down and then back up to the neutral position is where you're going to maximize your growth. But I go all the way up, I squeeze at the top, and then I go all the way down for a good stretch, and then I go right back up to the top, squeeze again. So calf raises. And then my fourth lift would be a leg curl. A couple variations. Lying leg curls, really great. I love the squeeze at the top. It feels really, really good. And then you also have like seated leg curls. Usually you have like your handles in front of it where you can push against. The main thing with seated hamstring curls is your ass needs to be in the seat, needs to be locked in tight. You don't want to be lifting your butt up as you're like curling in your legs. So just be mindful of that. You really only want to be moving at your knees and bending at your knees and then squeezing once you've brought them in, right? And then like a slow release as you're letting the weight up, right? Everything's controlled, by the way. You're controlling everything. You're not just splashing the weight around. And then I like to finish it off with something a little more compound related, but not so aggressive as squats. So I do like to do like a leg press, or in my case, they have a pendulum squat at my gym, and it's fucking awesome, but it's very intimidating. So if you've never done one before and you do have one in your gym, maybe like spy on somebody as they're using it if you get a chance, or just look it up online and watch a video. But I really recommend starting with lightweight, and that is a fun movement to kind of finish off your leg day and kind of just burn out any extra fuel you had in the tank. So I would recommend with lightweight with that kind of same thing with your leg press, and just really focus on your time under tension and your forms. But make sure you're struggling with the weight as well. Like kind of hit your like 8 to 12, 8 to 15 rep range. Same thing with kind of the other workouts that we talked about, your leg extensions and your leg curls. 8 to 12, 8 to 15, really good weight. If you hit 12 reps and it wasn't that hard to do, go up in weight, keep progressing, right? You still want to like progressive overload and still go up in weight. So you should try to keep doing that over time. That's what I would recommend for my leg day, those lifts, just to start. And then from there, you can get creative and you can add things that you like, take things away that you don't like. Not everything is going to feel great for you, but these are the ones that have really worked for me. I have pretty great legs. I think a lot of it's genetics, but as far as like muscle groups on my body, I think my legs are probably my best feature. First of all, it's because I don't skip fucking leg day. Second of all, it's because I've found lifts that work really well for me and I understand how to train them. And I switch them up. So with leg extensions, you can do single leg. I do 7-7-7s or 7x7x7. I'll do one leg, 7 reps, switch it, do the other leg, 7 reps, and then I'll double the weight, do both legs, and I'll do 7. Everything is controlled, everything is time under tension, and everything is really good form. So Yeah, that's what I would recommend for your leg day. I do recommend tracking your lifts. I don't anymore. I know where I'm at as far as how much weight I can lift, and I know when I go up in a weight and how it feels, where I'm going to end up as far as like my rep range is concerned. I should track. Maybe I'll track this winter when I bulk, but I've been doing this for so long. I have a really good idea of where I need to be. But I would recommend doing like a 4 to 6 week program for that. Write everything down. Write how many reps you did, how many sets you did, and then the weight that you did for each set. And then the next week, try to just raise it up a little bit of weight. Doesn't have to be a ton. Could be 5 pounds, could be 10 pounds, whatever. But just try to keep going up. You can also just raise your reps a little bit too if you don't feel comfortable going up in weight, especially with squats. Just be careful with that. So that would be what I would recommend to start as far as beginners are concerned. And then once you've gotten comfortable with that and you want to switch things up, absolutely. Go online, find an app. There's information everywhere. You'll figure it out. But that would be my beginner recommendation for leg day. This week we'll do like a push day and a pull day and what I would recommend for programs. So stay tuned for that. We're going to finish this. Hot out. I don't want to go outside, actually. Fuck. I have a tank top underneath this because I'm going to start sweating in about 10 seconds after I step out this house. So leg day, hot out. Not really jazzed about it. The gym's going to be hot, but yeah, I'm going to get the dogs in the kennel, time to cheese trail these fuckers, and then we'll see you at the gym. Peace. All right, we made it. It's hot. It's not fun out. Not going to warm up with the bar just because I'm kind of in a hurry. So we'll do 135 right away. And just make sure nothing hurts. Make sure form feels good. And then we'll throw around some weight. Feels good. Go up 225. All right, let's talk about form a little bit. So I do a high bar squat. Bar sits high up on the top of my back. Then like hand placement. I kind of go a little wider, but I don't want the bar too far, like my hands too far in, so that it hurts my shoulders or for whatever reason. So I like to keep my hands relaxed. But as far as my feet placement, it's usually shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit more. And then I do point my toes out a little bit just because, sorry, I have like a hiccups, just because of where my hips lie when I squat. I do squat ass to grass. You should always be squatting ass to grass or very close to that. None of this like half rep bullshit doesn't count. I don't care. So for me to go that low and to get good form out of it, I point my toes out a little bit. And then you want to focus on making sure that your knees go past where your toe line, where your toes are. So if you've ever seen lifters, they have lifting shoes. It's usually like a 3/4 inch wedge in their heel. And what that does is that raises their heel up. So when they squat down, it allows their knee to go past their toe line. If you don't have lifting shoes or you don't want to spend the money on lifting shoes just for that purpose, a lot of people will take like a 5-pound weight and they'll place them on the ground, and then you just want the backs of your heels to sit on them. And then what that'll do is that'll raise you up just a little bit, like you're on the ball of your feet, and then it'll allow you to get your knee to go past your toe line. So that's why people do that. And then you want to keep your back straight, your chest up. It's like it's like you're taking a seat in a chair. So, for example, high bar, pick it up. I sit here for a second just to feel the weight. Step back. I get my feet adjusted. They're pointing out a little bit. I take a deep breath in. I'm looking forward. I slow down. Up. Chest is out. There you have it. Easy, right? Easy peasy, right?
Come on.
Yep. That second one was a little wild. There you go.
Come on, son. Let's go. Easy.
Hip.
Come on. Right up. Easy. That one went fucking smooth.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go up again.
Come on. Oh. Nice.
I haven't hit that in a while.
That was smooth as shit too.
Yeah. I could
Well,
probably.
just call it there, so we don't.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm gonna break my fucking knees. Yeah, true. Good idea. Be smart.
Good breathing. Good breathing. Come on.
How?
Good shit.
Howie. What do you want to be at A? Should have maybe adjusted this before I started filming. It's not bad, but we'll go up. It's really hot in here. Howie. Okay, second set. Here's an important tip. I didn't mention it when I was squatting. I very much lift like a bodybuilder, which is like short rests in between your sets. It's like high tempo. A lot of it feels like a little bit of a higher weight stuff. And then the opposition to that is like a powerlifter training, like powerlifter training, which is long periods of rest in between your sets because of the amount of weight that they're lifting. So I squatted 365, and that's the first time I've squatted 365 in almost a year. My PR is 410, so I'm getting back up to it, but a lot of it's like, I broke my belt, so I'm just waiting to order a new cherry lever for it. And then I want knee sleeves when I start squatting that type of weight. You really want to be smart when you're getting up there in weight. I'm not a big guy, but 405, 410, that's a ton of weight for me. So I want to have those things in place before I get back up to that. The other thing was like Austin was with me, so he's usually pushing me to lift and go heavier. When I squatted 315 and 335, it was really smooth, so I knew I had more in the tank. But he also spotted me, so make sure you have a spotter. But the benefit to, or the factor to me being able to lift that was the rest in between those sets. So you don't see that because I'm not filming, but I probably took 5 minutes maybe in between that 315 and then in between that 335 and then in between that 365. So when you're lifting that heavier stuff on those compound movements, really focus on taking proper rest, and then you can shorten up your rest in between when you're starting to do some of your accessory shit. So just a little food for thought. It's heavy. That hurts. This is my last set. Accidentally didn't record my third one. This is set number 4. We're only going to see 3. It's not bad, man. Don't be mad at me, please. We'll do one more of this, and then we'll do some seated calf raises. And then try to do hamstring curl and pendulum squat, but I think we'll probably just end up on pendulum squat. It's getting late. I got here late, and I took a lot of rest in between those squats. So we'll see. Still have to go home at a reasonable time, fucking eat, spend time with Erica. We don't get to see each other like a ton. So prioritize my work, gym, and home life balance is all important. You don't always need to be in the gym for 2 hours every day. You just have to have a good, intense workout. Could be 30 minutes, 45. You know, get it in, get it out. Stop fucking around. Feel sweat dripping down my arm. Calf raises. It's a good weight. You don't got to get too aggressive. We'll leave it there. A couple sets and then hit the pendulum. We got to move it. What's up, big guy? How you living? How your lifts? You look. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah, but it's intense. Yeah, slow, methodical. Yeah, time under tension shit. That's good. All right, last set. I got distracted talking to Larry. Him and Austin have a show coming up in, I think, October down in Milwaukee. So we were just talking about that. He's bulking a little bit right now, right before he cuts. So seeing how that goes. All right, that's enough. All right, let's hit this fucking pendulum squat and try not to die. In, up, I think we'll do close. Fucking humbling. Second set, same weight. Up and down. Oh, this is the last set. I gotta go home. And my legs are jello. Up. Shit. Last one. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go die now. Peace out.